So recently, I was very troubled about one of my favorite Catholic musicians having turned towards, not being a Christian anymore, basically. And I was just kind of reading her journey, and I, just felt like there was so much about me that I could relate to her. And then I started getting really afraid because lately God has been calling me to share my songs and my gifts and my gift of worship and my the songs that I've written with the people in my church and my community. And I can really feel that his spirit is really moving there, and I have, although it's been a hard thing for me to do in the sense that it's really like it's way out of my comfort zone, and it's not something that I have been feeling I'm not fully prepared for, in the sense that I don't even know what I'm doing half the time, but yet there are things that God has prepared for me and before me, and I just feel like he's doing something amazing there. So I just feel like it's something that, because I'm giving my 5 loaves and 2 fish, and that's all that I can bring to the table. But he is moving, and he's doing something big, and I can just feel that there is something amazing that's coming from there. And again, it's not my doing, it's what he's doing. But I was really worried because I read about this person, and she's written the most beautiful worship songs, and I had incorporated some of her songs in my worship sessions, and then I read this, and it deeply disturbed me because I just thought, she's got a fan following of so many, and now she's left the church, and it's affected a lot of people, me included. I mean, and I didn't even know that she probably left the church a few years ago, but I just kind of read about it now, and I was deeply disturbed. But why I'm kind of getting into this is because I was worried when I looked at the story of her life and her trajectory. There was so much that I could relate to, that I was like, oh my gosh, I can see that this thing that you are doing in my life right now, Lord, I can see that it is going somewhere, and it feels like it's going somewhere big. And I'm so worried that that I might do the same thing. Like I might just leave and go. And then the other thing that I was feeling was like, is there pride that's going to come into my head, and I'm going to get lead other people astray, and it's a position of responsibility, and I do not want to be causing problems, right? So I was chatting with my husband about this, and he was like, hey, Kaz, if you take your talents and hide it under the, it's like the story of the talents, where 2 of them took their talents, and they multiplied it, and the master was very happy. And then there's this one guy who just buried it in the ground, and he said, I know you were hard, master, so I just wanted to keep that safe, so I'm giving you back the talent that you gave me. Are you going to be like that guy? He asked me, and I was like, that is so true. Just because I am afraid of these things that I might do in the future, blah, 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 am I going to stop shining my light now and just hide my gifts under the bed or whatever? So that put things into perspective for me, and I was grateful for that. But it was still not a complete thing. It was still troubling my heart. And this other thing about the fact that this girl has written these beautiful songs that I really want to incorporate in my worship. But every time I'm now using the songs in my worship, I'm thinking about her and about should I be really playing these songs and singing these songs because they are written by someone who is now not faithful anymore. And it was really troubling me. And then God showed me this story in the Bible. So this is in Numbers 22 to 24, where the Israelites are now, they are at the borders of Canaan, I think. And there was this prophet called, well, not a prophet. He was actually a sorcerer, and he was from a different camp. And the king over there was worried that the Israelites were going to take over the land. So he calls upon this man, Balaam, who's a sorcerer, and he says, you put a curse on these guys. You put a curse on the Israelites. And Balaam resorted to his divinations and stuff like that. But the true God spoke to him, God spoke to him and says, and he did not allow him to curse the people of Israel, right? He showed him 3 or 4 times that that he needed to bless these people and not curse them. So no matter what no matter what that king and this Balaam were trying to do, they could not actually curse Israel because Israel was protected by God. And in that, like, Balaam understood that this was the real God, and he prophesied over Israel, like in the words that God gave him. So God used him to speak some true prophecies over Israel. He saw that it was truly God who spoke to him in that moment and spoke his message boldly, even though it angered the king Balak. But then you see that in a few chapters later, he gets lured into the power money game and things go south. So now the question, just because Balaam chose to do evil or chose a different path, does that make his previous prophecy untrue? So just because this singer-songwriter has chosen to leave the Christian faith, does that make her worship songs that were written when she was Christian false or satanic? I should think not. And I just thank God for giving me this example so that I can now sing those beautiful songs freely, to understand that they were truly inspired by you and not to attach the person to the song. The thing is, human beings are fallible, right? So tomorrow I may make the same mistakes. But the songs that I have written now in this time and in my life up to now that have been truly inspired by the Holy Spirit are truly inspired by the Holy Spirit, okay? Because human beings are fallible and the Holy Spirit is not. And He can work through us mistake-making humans. So the bottom line is that God is working through me and in me. And if I make mistakes, that is my humanness. And it does not undo His work. It does not diminish His power. He is bigger and can work through and despite any situation. So now that He showed me that, an enormous weight has lifted off my shoulders. And I am able to just give freely and just think, okay, you know what? You are working, you are doing this through me right now. And tomorrow, if I do not exist or do not, or walk away or whatever, it is still does not diminish the work that you are doing right now, Lord. So I am here, I am willing, and I am open, and I'm going to give myself over to you and surrender everything that you are going to do for me and through me, at each step of the way. So I trust you, Lord, and I hope this episode has inspired you, and if it has, please share it with other people. God bless you, have a wonderful day, and see you next week.